Hey guys, how's it going? It's Mr. Hang. I am going to show you how to do a lesson 5.1 day one, right? The objective is to find the percentage in a real world situation. So just to give you a definition of the percent change real quick, as you can see here, we have the percent change, which is an increase or a decrease, right? So for instance, if I have let me show you this number right here. So if I started with a 60%, right, and then I went down to, I don't know, 40%, well, this is called a percent decrease, okay, or it changed, okay, it went down, decrease. So that's a type of change. And then you have the percent increase. So if I had, say, 40% and instead it went up to 60%, right? If I started with 40 and went to 60, well, that's called a percent increase, okay? So percent change are these two here. It's an increase or decrease. And then the percent increase here, right, is the increase right there. And then we got a percent decrease, which is the decrease right there, okay? And then let's go down all the way to the first problem here. So first of all, it says to find the percent increase and then round it to the nearest percent. These are two important things you must focus on. So look at the numbers down there. We know we go from $5 to $8. So right away, we know that this is going to end up with some sort of increase, right? Because it went from five to $8. Okay, so we have an increase. So it's going to be a percentage increase. Now, the first step we have to take here to solve the actual problem to find the percent increase is we need to take the amount of change. I'm sorry, you got to find the amount of change, right? That's the first step we have to do. So it says right here, the greater value minus, right? That little dash right there between the less and greater value, that's minus. In other words, you got to find the difference between the greater and the lesser value. So let's look at the numbers here. Which one has a greater or lesser value? Well, $8 is definitely greater than $5. So we're going to write $8, right? And we're going to minus $5. And then we're going to find the amount of change, right? We got to find the amount of change. So what's 8 minus 5? Well, the difference is $3. I'm going to circle that. So we know the amount of change is $3, but we don't want that. We want to know the percent of change, or in other words, the percent increase. So I'm gonna write the three. So we're gonna go to step two. Sorry, we're going to step two. So then we're gonna go ahead and write 3 right here, right? Because the amount of change is 3. And then I'll put a division sign right there because there's division. And we're gonna divide it by the original amount. So what's the original amount? Well, the original amount is $5. Right? Because in the beginning, we started with 5, and then what happened? We ended up with $8, which was the increase. So we're going to put $5 right there underneath. So now we got 3 over 5. But let me make this a little bit more clear. I'm going to write the 3 over 5 here. Okay? When we divide that, we're going to get 0.60. Okay? So, but that's not a percent. We need an actual percent because we want that percent of change, right? Right here, it's asking for the percent of change. So how do we find a percent? Well, we're just going to take that decimal right there and move it to the right. So now we have 60%. Okay, this is something that you should have learned in elementary school. So 60% is our increase. And you can draw a little arrow going up like this. So it matches. We know that we go $5 to $8. You know, it's a increase in number. But we also know that that also refers to 60% increase as well. So from $5 to $8, that's like a 60% increase. Okay. So let's look at one more. Let's look at the decrease part because we did the increase, right? We did increase. Now we're going to do the decrease instead. Okay. So percent decrease and then round it to the nearest percent. So look at from $80 to $64. Is that an increase or is that a decrease? That's something you have to ask yourself. Well, oh, what happened? So it is a decrease, right? Because it went down in number. So 80, so we're going to do the amount. First of all, we're going to do the first step here. Find the amount of change, the greater value minus the lesser value. So it's going to be greater value is 80, right? And then minus 64, which is the lesser value. right? And we said this is a decrease. So I forgot to do that. It's a decrease. So now what's 80 minus 64? Well, if you take 80 minus 64, 80 minus 64, you get 16. Okay, so 16, I'm going to circle that to know that's the amount of change. So we took care of the amount of change. So you did step 1. So now we got to do step 2. So step 2 tells us to do what? Well, we need to insert the amount of change and then put it over the original amount. So I'm going to write 16 over, what's the original amount? The original amount is 80, right? Because initially we started with $80 and we dropped to 64. So we're going to put 80 right here. Okay. In other words, it's 16 divided by 80, right? This is a little bit more clear. So if you divide 16 by 80, what should you get? Well, 16 divided by 80 using my calculator is going to be 0.2, but we want a percent. So therefore, we're going to move that decimal to the right twice. We get an extra 0 here. So your final answer is going to be a 20% change. Okay. So we put the 20% here. So is it a decrease or increase? Well, it's going to be a decrease. So 20% decrease. Okay. That's it. That's all you have to do for the rest of the problems. There's nothing new here. It's exactly the same as we did, or if you're going to do later. Other than that, you guys have a great day. And ask me questions later, or text me, or just during class, or come to tutorial. Okay, bye.